Hi.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, we would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Robinson Superior Treaty Territory and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Métis. We'll move into the open session. Okay. Can I have approval of the agenda? We have an addition in the department reports, and it's Director of Operations. It's for Aqua, the VFD expenditure request. And we also have a deletion. Unfortunately, MPAC couldn't be here tonight, so right off the bat, we don't have a delegation tonight. Anything else? Nothing else. Hearing nothing else, go ahead. Any disclosures of interest?
Yes, I do for communication item number 1.
Okay. And like I say, we have no delegations. Question period.
No questions.
Okay. Resolution 35-23. Moved by Councillor Bourgeau, seconded by Councillor Bryson, that the minutes of the Council and Committee of the whole meeting held January 31st, 2023 be accepted as circulated. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Is there any business arising from the January 31st minutes? Move into the Committee of the Whole recommendations. Resolution 36-23. Moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The Council accept the 2022-2023 inspection report for the Schreiber drinking water system as prepared by the Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks. Discussion?
This is the one from the last meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay. Sorry, Nathan.
All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 37-23. Moved by Councillor Bourgeau, seconded by Councillor Bryson. The Council declare the Wheel McLean oil furnace as a surplus asset to be disposed of, and the furnace be advertised for sale on Gov Deals at an opening bid of $500. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 38-23, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The council declare the Northern Steel oil storage tank as a surplus asset to be disposed of, and that the tank be advertised for sale on Gov Deals at an opening bid of $1,000. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 39-23. Moved by Councillor Bourgeau, seconded by Councillor Bryson, that council renew the North of Superior Travel Association advertising package full page advertisement for the year 2023 in the amount of $3,500 excluding applicable taxes. Discussion? Unfortunately, it was in print. It was already printed.
Oh, we couldn't make
So
any
we
changes?
couldn't do the change, but it is noted for next year. So, nothing we can do about it.
It's good information though. Okay.
All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 40-23. Moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Morrow. The council approved the temporary recreation programmers plan for the Winter Carnival 2023 event scheduled for February 23rd to 26th, 2023. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 41-23, moved by Councillor Bryson, seconded by Councillor Bourgeau. The council authorized a donation of $1,000 to the Beautification Committee, and that the Beautification Committee provide a report on the use of the funds at the first regular meeting of council in January 2024. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 42-23, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The council approved the purchase of 5 3M Scott air cylinders from M&L Supply at a cost of $9,093.08, excluding applicable taxes. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 43-23, moved by Councillor Bourgeau, seconded by Councillor Bryson. The council approved the purchase of a hard suction hose and strainer for the 2006 pumper truck from Fort Garry Fire Trucks in the amount of $2,455.07, excluding applicable taxes. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 44-23, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The council transfer to the Recreation Committee Reserve Fund $308, which represents donations from vending machine sales in 2022. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 45-23, moved by Councillor Bourgeau, seconded by Councillor Bryson. The council transfer to the Recreation Committee Reserve Fund $77.96, which represents net apparel sales for 2022. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 46-23, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The council transfer from the Recreation Committee Reserve Fund $178.07, which represents the cost of a bike prize for the bike rodeo event in 2022. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 47-23, moved by Councillor Bryson, seconded by Councillor Bourgeau, that council transfer from the Recreation Committee Reserve Fund $465.28, which represents the 2022 Winter Carnival loss. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 48-23, moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that council transfer from the Recreation Committee Reserve Fund $225.45, which represents the 2022 Heritage Days event net loss. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 49-23, moved by Councillor Bourgeau, seconded by Councillor Bryson, that council transfer from the Recreation Committee Reserve Fund $2,125.07, which represents the July 30th, 2022 EDLA performance net loss. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 50-23, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The council of the Township of Schreiber support the resolution of the City of Thunder Bay with respect to Bill 42, Gender Affirming Healthcare Act. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 51-23. Moved by Councillor Bryson, seconded by Councillor Bourgeau. The Council of the Township of Schreiber support the resolution of the Corporation of the Township of Lanark Highlands with respect to violence against women. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 52-23, moved by Councillor Bourgeau, seconded by Councillor Bryson. The council approved the attendance of B. Bryson, D. McGrath, and K. Mullins at the Northwestern Ontario Municipal Association 2023 Conference and AGM to be held April 26th to the 28th, 2023 in Thunder Bay, and that expenses be paid as per township policy. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Okay. Resolution 53-23, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Bryson. The council approved the attendance of A. Bourgeau, D. McGrath, and K. Mullins at the virtual budget 2023 consultations held February 3rd, 2023, and that expenses be paid as per township policy. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried.
January 31st was a very busy meeting.
Okay. Move into accounts for payment. Resolution 54-23. Moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Bourgeau, that checks issued on the general bank account in the month of January 2023 in the amount of $931,821.91 for general accounts payable be approved and ratified. Discussion?
I had some questions, just to get you curious. January 6th, check number 26311, Automation Now, $181,440. That was for phase 1 of the electrical down at the wastewater, and that will be expensed on the 2022 budget. And then the Cloud Darling expense further down of $190,970 is for that new heating system that's here at the complex, and it's also being expensed in 2022. The rest of them were just small ones, like Grant Thornton, that was an interim billing, and Thunder Bay Letter Shop Services. I just hadn't heard of that company before, and they let me know what that was about. And then, of course, for our last report. That was the only questions I had. I don't know if anybody had any others.
Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 55-23, moved by Councillor Bergeau, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that bank debits issued on the general bank account in the month of January 2023 in the amount of $84,179.54 for payroll be approved and ratified. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 56-23, moved by Councillor Bryson, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The council approve the attendance of Councillor Bergeau at the mediation session held January 12, 2023 in Thunder Bay, and that expenses be paid as per township policy. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Go under unfinished business. Resolution 57-23. Oof, that's a lot tonight. Moved by Councillor Bergeau, seconded by Councillor Morrow. The council approved the appointment of Carrie Moore to the Schreiber Accessibility Advisory Committee for the term of council ending November 14th, 2026. All those in favor? Carried.
Welcome, Harry.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Resolution 58-23. Moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Bryson. The council approved the appointment of Deb Birchinaw, Deb Riley, Darlene Sidco, and Lola Spadoni to the Beautification Committee for the term of council ending November 14th, 2026. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Which one is that? Resolution 59-23, moved by Councillor Bergeau, second by Councillor Morrow. That council approved the appointment of Matthew Barutsky, Candace Campbell, Dominic Camiso, Ken Cook, and Joe Mussolino to the Community Economic Development Committee for the term of council ending November 14th, 2026. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 60-23. Moved by Councillor Bryson, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The council approved the appointment of Carrie Moore to the Recreation and Festivals Committee for the term of council ending November 14th, 2026. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 61-23. Moved by Councillor Bergeau, seconded by Councillor Morrow. The council approve the appointment of Brenda Asmussen, Kathy Coyle, Edith Howard, Ted Jordan, Lorraine Kay, Roseanne Pellegrino, and Terry Thompson to the Schreiber Senior Center Committee for the term of council ending November 14th, 2026. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Under other business, Resolution 62-23. Moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that bylaw 4-2023 being a bylaw to adopt the workplace violence, harassment, and sexual harassment policy, and to rescind bylaw 7-2008, 20-2010, and 28-2019 be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried.
Nathan, to you and to your Health and Safety Committee, that's a good job.
I'll get the rest after. So now we'll move into the committee of the whole portion of the meeting, and start with the department reports. And first up is Director of Operations status update. You're still with us, Tammy?
I am.
Okay, if anybody's got questions.
So Tammy, you've included a copy of the statement of qualifications for the effluent disinfection, and that's basically for just an update for us, right?
Are you talking about the report from the EXP services?
Yes.
Okay, so that was a request from town council, past town councils, to develop a design brief for the UV disinfection, because we cannot continue to chlorinate.
Right.
The mandate has changed, but we're looking for money to get that done before we can actually move forward, because it's going to be a very expensive project.
Right.
But that is the design brief. They were halted at this point. So now we have to wait until we can find some money to proceed.
And this was completed at the end of October?
Yes.
Okay.
Of 2022.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And do you want to just give like highlights about the other stuff on here? I see your final inspection rating for the are pretty high.
Yeah, the drinking water system inspection rating was 93.67%, and that is a great improvement over the last inspection, so we are moving in the right direction. The HVAC, Cloud Darling is in the building this week, changing out all the thermostats. That seems to be going well. A lot of the valves are defective, but he has found a pretty cheap fix where you can retrofit, so we don't have to change all the valves. We can just change the controls that operates the valves. So they're going to do that. We've just continuing with the budget research, of course. The Smart Serve. If anybody on council would like to be trained in Smart Serve, if you intend to volunteer in any capacity concerning alcohol, you must have Smart Serve. So we're organizing a group. You still do it individually on your computer, but we can buy it as a township in a group. The Handy Transit, as you all know, was in an accident last week, so I am working at trying to find a plan B that we can continue services in some capacity. That is proving to be a challenge, but I think we're on to something now. So once I get those details ironed out, I can report back to council at our next meeting. I am looking at suppliers to see how fast we can get a new one built and delivered. So that's ongoing.
And Nathan, we still don't have a date from the adjuster yet when he's going to be here, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
We're still waiting for them to get in touch with us at this time.
Okay, Tammy, thanks for the update on that. So we'll move on to number 2, your Director of Operations report on aqua expenditures.
So this expenditure is actually concerning the 5 pressure filters at the water plant. The reason that we need to top up the media in the filters, replace the butterfly filters that's letting water by, is probably a large contributor to the turbidity exceedances that we've been experiencing. We have been mandated as part of our drinking water inspection that we must do a filter optimization study. That is due for January 2024. That study, though, will likely take all year to compile information and data. And the reason for that is to capture all the different characteristics of our source water as the seasons change. So it is to our benefit to make sure that the filters are at their best. And because at the end of the year, whatever that filter optimization study tells us that we have to do, it may require us digging deep into our pocket, or it may be as simple as just changing some chemicals. But the work that we do now will help us in that study for our results at the end of the year.
It'll be especially helpful with this spring turnover coming around if all of this can be done before then.
So this $19,264 is critical now. We don't want to wait till we finalize the budget, is what you're telling me. Okay. Okay.
There is a lead time on delivery, so it has to be ordered now so that we can have it in place. And with the weather the way it is, who knows when spring is going to come and when that turnover starts. So it's important that we have those filters working at their best.
Okay.
That's
So-
the capital expense.
Yeah. And I'll just go over the recommendation, just so anyone following at home
Okay.
knows what we're talking about here. So it's a recommendation that council accepts the expenditure request from Aqua in the amount of $19,264.18, including applicable taxes, for the anthracite and butterfly valves to optimize the 5 pressure filters at the Schreiber water treatment plant.
And they didn't give you a timeline, eh, Tammy?
The timeline for delivery? Is that what you mean?
Sure, that and the install.
Well, the install will be done as soon as the product comes in. When they measured the media to know how much they were going to need of the anthracite, that's when they discovered the butterfly valves. So the anthracite is actually already approved for them to order it because that was 6 weeks delivery. So we had to get that moving. The butterfly valves are a shorter lead time, so we're waiting for approval from council before we actually order those.
Tammy, what do we do
But they
with
will
the,
be installed
sorry, go
as
ahead.
soon as it arrives.
What do we do with the defective butterfly valves? Is there opportunity to have them rebuilt and on the shelf for the next time we have failures, or are they scrap?
That's a good question. I will make note of that and ask Aqua. But if I were to guess, I'm going to say that they are not, they can't be rehabilitated because it's the butterfly valve itself that is worn off. It's rounded and it's letting water by. Could be a matter of just changing that part. I'm not sure, but I'll ask.
Thanks.
Good question.
And this is going to show up as a 2023 capital expense, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we okay with the recommendation?
Yep,
Yeah.
good.
Okay, we're good with that, Tammy? Nathan?
Okay.
Number 3, Director of Operations report, ice plant brine filter.
Hear the recommendation to accept the quote from Simcoe in the amount of $3,914.71 plus applicable taxes for the supply and installation of a brine filter.
And Simcoe said it was really dirty.
It's visually dirty. And Simcoe says that we run a risk if we shut the plant down with the dirty brine the way it is. There is a possibility that the debris in the brine can settle or dry in the tubes under the floor. If we do get a plug line under the floor, the only way to fix that will be to tear up the arena floor, which will be very costly. If we don't fix it, then that section of cement just doesn't freeze like the rest of it does. So it's important that we get a filter in there while the brine is still circulating so that the filter has an opportunity to get as much dirt out as possible. Ideally, we should do a brine flush, but that's very expensive, and Simcoe recommends that we try the filter first to try and save ourselves some money.
You know the last time it was replaced?
I'm not sure when the last time it was changed.
Does Simcoe have like an estimate of like a lifespan for one of these filters, what it should last then?
Oh, the filters?
Yeah.
The filters are pretty cheap to replace. Once the encasement is installed, we can do the change, and the filters are pretty reasonably priced.
Okay.
So then this $3,900 is for a casement and filter?
Yeah, okay.
Yep, that's installed.
Oh, okay.
It's not just for a filter.
Okay.
Cool, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's worth it, I guess, to,
So had this been something that was noticed before, could we have just changed the filter instead of the whole case?
Well, there is no filter on this brine system. There never has been because it's an older system.
Oh.
In the new systems now that are installed, they come installed with filters. But this brine, your brine doesn't get changed every year.
Mhm.
And it's also a process to change the brine, which will also get into your chiller. But so it's easier just to add the filter attachment to our brine pump and attempt to clean the brine that way.
Okay.
What would be the cost of a brine flush?
He said upward of 30,000.
Yeah,
Oof.
okay.
okay. Good with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, you're up again, Tammy. Director of Operations report, calendar parking signs.
And in this case, it's a recommendation to accept the expenditure request from Nova Pro Industrial Supply in the amount of $1,920 plus applicable taxes for the purchase of 12 calendar parking signs. Again, this is actually very discretionary, so Tammy has looked into the pricing. Ultimately, it's going to be up to council to determine, you know, if this is worthwhile to pursue in the pursuit of enforcing overnight parking. Leave it to you to discuss, or if there's any questions.
So these are just at entry points off the highway?
Correct. We do have signs that are there on streets intermittently. There have been circumstances where people have stated they haven't seen those signs. We do try to make an effort to let people know that we are enforcing overnight parking. It's common across numerous Ontario municipalities too.
There'd be one in the subway for the south side of town, and they're in every highway entry, but we thought of the subway too.
It's just the highway entries I don't get. If I was visiting a town, would I need to know that I couldn't park on the streets between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m.? Maybe. I don't know.
Well,
Is it a reminder for our own residents? Maybe.
yeah. We've had a few complaints that they were from out of town and they didn't know anything about calendar parking because there was
Okay.
no signs.
Okay.
So that's 12 signs, and how many signs do we have up now, approximately?
Right now, there's a wide number of them. They're kind of scattered all throughout our streets.
So about 12 extra signs then.
These ones will be much bigger signs at the
Yeah.
entrance of the community, so that way it'll make it more obvious for, again, some of the feedback we got, not certainly by all, but from some people who did get fined was they didn't really know.
Yeah.
So we're thinking maybe by doing this may be an additional effort to help get, word and remind people
Yeah.
that
There was
overnight parking's an issue.
there was talk of this back when I was working, and I can't remember. Blind Grip? No, not Blind. There's 2 signs in the town, big ones. One at the east entrance of the town, and one at the west entrance of the town. So, and it says basically the same thing: no parking on the streets, and that's how they covered it, and it was working.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But that's be a bigger cost of 2 huge signs
Right,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it makes sense, because it's not like we're not having problems with overnight parking, we are, correct? We are having some issues
Yeah.
with it, so.
Yeah.
So additional signs might help.
And this is gonna go again on 2023 budget.
Correct,
Okay.
unless we can supply it into our operating costs. We may have a bit of money within a GL for our street signs, so I'll check with Marlene and see.
Okay.
Okay, number 5, Finance and Special Projects Administration Report, Great Lakes Waterfront Trail Expansion.
Just to clarify here, and you did bring it up, Anne-Marie, there was some contradictory information there on the installation. That was, I'll just go over the request or the recommendation here again, just to clarify it. So the recommendation should read that the Council of the Township of Schreiber support the Great Lakes Waterfront Trail Partnership Program with an annual contribution of $500 per year to the Waterfront Regeneration Trust. They will be providing these signs as part of the program. So I did get some clarification by looking at the email that was issued from the Waterfront Regeneration Trust. So they stated that they've leveraged support from partner organizations to secure funding from the federal government for the inaugural run of the sign plate, face plates for the sections of the route that can be implemented and ready for 2024. The program will cover the fabrication and delivery of sign face plates for the implementation. We ask our partner communities to provide the mounting and hardware and labor for the installation of the wayfinding and signage. So those wayfinding and signage costs, again, could be incorporated in our regular operating costs, so.
So do you have like a guesstimate on what it would cost in labor to install 36 signs?
Well, in labor, it depends on the time, so we would have to talk to our public works team and determine.
We don't want these being dug now, right? Okay, good.
It's certainly not a priority thing. It will be just a project that they can work on in the summer, right, and do it, put up each sign where they can.
And secondarily, you are looking to coordinate with the Casque Isle, right? Because they've got a system of signage up as well.
Yes.
Okay.
For the smaller signs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so that we're still working in partnership with the
Oh, yeah.
ones we've
Yeah.
already developed.
Absolutely.
Okay.
How large are these signs?
These
The larger
signs,
signs.
I didn't get a clear indication of the size, but they're supposedly pretty small. They're not, anything too huge.
Not too distracting. And that annual contribution it's at the discretion of.
Yep, at the
municipality
discretion of
every
the
year.
municipality. And they're saying really it's for them, it helps fund their website.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the way I see it, this is a regional effort to really
Yeah.
advertise our region and
So we give them the money to
Yep.
get more money.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds good. Schreiber Senior Center Committee meeting minutes, November and January. I'll let you talk to that, Dan, if you want.
Yep. So I'll just go to the January one.
Anybody got any questions on the November one? No?
Just one quick,
Okay.
just one part, Dan, where they talked about the movie matinee for evening in Schreiber, and that it is expensive because you need those licensing fees.
Yeah, it's $1,000 for that
Right.
licensing fee, and I don't think we finished discussing that yet. so-
Okay, because at one point, the township partnered with one of the local schools, because the schools at a matter of course get these licenses. So
Right.
we were actually piggybacking on the school to get a movie put here into the municipal complex.
Yeah, which school, do you know?
I would say none of the schools do that
Okay.
anymore.
Really?
Not since the days of streaming.
Not since the days of streaming, eh? Okay, shoot, never mind then.
Yeah, and we weren't quite sure how.
So now I won't mention the school.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would say those movie nights at the schools stopped because of COVID and streaming, so it's just an ad. We used to have a license at our school. We
Yes.
don't have it anymore.
You
for
don't,
sure.
eh?
No, we used to get one once a month. We'd have a movie once a month, and we
Mhm.
don't get those. No.
Oh,
Like a pre-release thing.
never mind.
Yeah, so that's,
Sorry.
that's expensive for the license.
Yeah, it's expensive. No, no.
And also we weren't quite sure about the blow-up screen, how well that works. How well that would work. I think it does, still works. We used it for a drive-in theater a few years ago. At one of the Heritage Days, the last Heritage Day, not the current, the one that just passed.
Okay.
We had some problems with it leaking outdoors, but I think.
Yeah, I believe somebody would have to set it up and see what.
Yeah, I think it can be, I don't think it was damaged, I think it just.
It
needs to
says
be
in the minutes
treated.
that it is.
It said what?
In the January minutes, it says that it's damaged.
It is damaged?
Yeah.
You'd have to watch.
Yeah, there's a hole in the screen and the blower is not working anymore.
Okay, well,
There's the answer, yeah. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, so,
I was voting for a movie night.
yeah, that's always fun. So, working on an excursion to take place this April. It was discussed, quotes for both the bus and Magna Cedar were received, so hoping to book that soon. So anybody that's a member can be on a first come, first served basis. I think the bus might hold 50 or 60 people.
That's nice. That's something you guys have been working at for a while, so that's good to see that.
Yeah, I think the last one was successful, the last one we had, so. A presentation about funeral arrangement, estate planning, that's something that we thought would be interesting
I think it's very good.
seniors. And bringing in a lawyer to explain all of that and answer any questions. Computer training was also another one that we thought would be beneficial to the seniors. So we did have some discussion on a senior community grant program, so we're looking for ideas from committee members on that. And then discussion on the winter carnival. So some of the stuff that's ongoing, floor curling is ongoing. Pickleball, that hasn't been too successful in the last since COVID. Swedish weaving is going strong. Remolia double draw is going strong. Foot care, looking into maybe seeing what we come up with.
It's hard,
in the
eh?
way of foot care, yeah. So, Sewing 101, a poster has been made up, sent out to both email and Facebook. So bingo has started up again. Evening walking club. Billiard room, that's open. If anyone's a pool player out there, that's open. We're looking to upgrade to new pool balls and cues. Then another one, healthcare initiative is blood pressure and blood sugar clinics.
Another good one.
Another good one.
You guys are busy.
Very good committee, active, good leadership, and good participation by committee members.
Sorry, just because we mentioned it.
Yeah, no.
Is there a plan to get that screen fixed then?
The plan is to, there's a grant available that's coming up, and we were going to use the opportunity to replace it and to improve the sound system that we currently have. Those were ideas that we're kind of tossing around right now. That grant application is due March 9th.
Okay, but if that's not successful, if all we need is a new blower.
The blower is not that easy to replace.
No.
I looked into that, and it's coming from like far away country. And so the lead time on it was very long, and just for the blower it was very expensive, almost just as much as what the whole screen is worth.
It's not just one of
and the
those-
hole in the screen, my understanding is that it's more of a tear than a hole.
Okay, well, yeah, there is a place in Thunder Bay that fixes those type of material things, because we used to get those tears when I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, Malins, I think it's called.
Sorry, what's it called?
I think Malins. I
Okay.
believe. We had a big tear and they fixed it all up there.
Okay, I'll look into
And
that.
it's not just one of those like stock inflatable blowers, like, you know, like a bouncy house has.
Yeah, it's similar to that.
And those are.
And when I actually called, I was trying to source them out myself, and then I called Bouncy Castles in Thunder Bay to find out where he gets them from, and he said that they weren't easy to come by.
Oh, okay, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just.
I know.
Yeah. Thanks, Sammy.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thanks, Dan. Sorry.
Okay, you're good with that then, Dan?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
done.
Number 7, bylaw enforcement report.
So here, Nathan, to back to your signage, 5 overnight parking patrols, 13 tickets.
That's just for the month of January.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I believe.
So six.
No, back to our, that's right,
Yeah.
back to that whole signage piece, yeah.
Six of those 13 were sent to court, just in that month.
No, there's, overall, there was around 30-something tickets that have been issued thus far.
Okay,
This winter.
This winter.
okay.
Yeah.
6 out of that is still a pretty
Well,
decent chunk.
You know, that was just in,
Yeah.
January.
Okay.
So, there were a bit more. I think it was around 13 or so out of that 30. So,
It's quite a bit.
50% just
Yeah.
throw them out, I guess.
Yes.
50% just throw the ticket away and don't pay it, or
Well-
do they dispute them properly?
Well, there's a whole process that has to be followed, so if someone doesn't come in to pay within the specific date, then she has to prepare something called the NIC, which is a notice of conviction or pending conviction. And then if that isn't answered, then they would get, basically would be filed with the courts, and the courts will then follow up with the individual. Person still chooses not to pay, then it could hamper their registration, because at this point, once it gets filed with the courts, it's at that point out of our hands.
Do we incur any legal fees on these things? No. Okay.
Not with Part 2 tickets.
Okay.
What does it cost for a ticket? What's the fine?
Yeah, where's the fine?
It's typically $25 for any overnight parking. The majority of our Part 2 violations for parking is typically around $25, except for parking in a handicapped vehicle spot. That's like $300.
Well,
As well it should be.
Fair.
yeah, absolutely.
I believe the ones around parking in front of a fire hydrant, that may be 35, so that one's a bit more too.
Okay. I guess we can, we'll move into the communications.
Do you wanna add?
Oh, as soon as you said that. Director of, I know, was, okay. Director of Operations report, again, for the Aqua expenditure request again.
Your recommendation that council accept the expenditure request from Aqua in the amount of $18,613.55, including taxes, for the VFD and installation at the wastewater treatment plant. Tammy, did you wanna provide
Tam.
any details on the VFD?
So if you recall back in November, we had a failure with the VFD, and it came back as dirty power.
'Cause we had that bump, right?
They were suspectful of the dirty power. So they were able to fix it and get it back online, and it has been working all this time. However, this time when it failed, it really failed. There's no coming back. There's no resurrection for this one. So the VFD controls the blowers for your aeration, and without the blowers going, we have 2 VFDs. One is still operational, trying to supply both clarifiers with enough air to keep the process going. So it's imperative that we get the second VFD installed as soon as possible, so that we don't lose the process. And if the other one happens to go down, it's going to be detrimental to the plant. The other thing to note is that apparently some years ago, that was prior to my time, I'm told that there was an insurance claim to cover one of these VFDs because it was a power bump that burnt it out. I researched that on this occasion, and they said that there's absolutely no evidence that it was power related that caused this failure. So unfortunately, there's no possibility of an insurance claim.
So, once again, 18,613, that's gonna be a 2023 cap cost.
I hope everybody's
Yes.
noting that.
I'm writing them down, yeah.
Anything to do with water and sewer is pretty damn expensive.
You aren't wrong. Whew.
And Tammy, you jinxed us, because when you give us the tour, you mentioned that.
Yeah. We should have been touching
I
on
did,
it.
sorry.
No, I mean, it's something that has to be there. It's everything to do with water and sewer is so darn expensive.
And necessary.
And necessary, for sure.
It's an expensive meeting, man.
So is the VFD that will be purchased, is it the same as the other one? Like same manufacturer, same, or is it, did you say there was two? Sorry, I mean.
Yeah, there's 2 VFDs in operation down there. Automation Now usually is the one that does the installation for us. I'm not sure of the brands that are currently down there or where they came from in the past.
Are these original components, Tammy?
No, I
Or
know
is
that
that one
one
that's
has
been
been replaced, but I'm not sure about the
Yeah.
second one or this one.
Yeah, so the second one could fail at any time, if it's old.
Okay, well, knock on the table.
Yeah, that's not
New
good.
start.
We are doing, you know,
Yeah,
substantial electrical upgrades
Yeah.
at the
You
wastewater
are.
treatment
'Cause
plant,
you
so.
just paid for that phase 1, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
you are, definitely.
So hopefully, you know, going down the road, whatever the electrical situation may be that may contribute to causing these VFDs to have issues, you
Yeah.
may address it, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we got a recommendation there to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings that to an end, and we'll go into communications.
Mayor Mullins, on item number 1,
Do you want me to leave?
I have questions regarding the specifics of this property and how the building permit was issued for an identifiable resident.
Now, in terms of any discussion on the, what you say, process for deeming bylaws, and that's an open session discussion, but if you wanna talk about an
No, I have
individual
specifics,
and the
specific
specific
questions.
property and the specific permit, that would be a closed session discussion.
I believe, I believe I need some more information.
Yeah, I need lots more information that's, I think, specific to this issue.
Could
Could
bring
we-
that back into the closed session.
Can we put it off to the next meeting to
To a closed
to
session?
gather more information too? Okay, thank you for that. With that being done, any other communications out there?
This bill 23, and I know Nathan has spoken as before, impacts of more homes built faster.
Yeah, you're seeing part of the impact in the draft site plan amendment bylaw, so.
Right?
It's difficult to catch up with all the changes that happened in this Bill 23. I know that our planner's currently working on a proposal for the official plan and zoning amendments that are gonna be required from that, and it makes it very complicated. And you know, there's a substantial amount of resolutions coming from communities, and it's all pertaining to this Bill 23. But I believe the province is quite adamant to keep course in its direction, and I don't think anything will change from that.
industry.
Why?
Southern Ontario, they're looking at significant tax rates for those municipalities that depend on the income from development charges.
Developers, I know. But they're really getting it hard.
So the existing tax base now would have to pay
Yeah.
for, I guess, supplying all that new infrastructure or whatever additional service demands are attributed to new subdivisions being built.
Okay, hearing no more in communications. Shall move on to unfinished business. The AMO 2023 general meeting and conference.
We would need to get the package A. We typically go with the package A unless it gets sold out.
So that's just including the networking session the night before, right? That's the only difference between A and B.
Yeah, includes a networking session on Tuesday.
I mean, the main thing, right, is the networking.
Okay. And we are a member,
With AMO, yes.
so we have a member rate. So package A, if we wanna buy it now and get it spent early, we're gonna save ourselves $260 for $820 a person.
Okay. There was a lot of resolutions lobbying before from smaller communities to make these conferences virtual because virtual delegations meant that you could save quite a bit of money, right?
Right.
But in order to access the ministers and bring forward your issues to the table there, you've got to pay to meet them.
I gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
We did it during COVID, obviously, we did it virtually.
Right.
And then they promised there was gonna be virtual and there isn't any. We've cut down one more member of council going, like it's Nathan, CAO, and 2. That's it, used to be 3,
Okay.
so it's only 2. And when we go down there, the courses and the networking, everybody goes a different way.
So we divide and conquer.
You cover as many courses and whatnot in the 2 days, 3 days that you're there. And sometimes you meet up here at the and I found the networking at Roma was second to none this year.
Okay.
It was good.
Okay.
And I'm sure you're going down to London, I'm sure you'll.
So you're making connections and being able to ask questions and bounce ideas off each other. Okay.
I find out that a lot of communities have a lot of similar issues, and sometimes when you're able to have those conversations,
Okay.
get to know people and see how they've dealt with it.
And then you bump into the there's the trade show down there, and then you bump into the odd person at the trade shows that they want to get their fingers into Northern Ontario, and it's some of them are interesting.
Okay.
And Dan, you made a great connection there with ISO, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a proposed project here in town,
Yeah.
and
Who's going?
you try to get as much support as possible, or as much information as possible.
Okay.
So we have
Yeah.
so we have Nathan and Anne Marie confirmed.
I don't know yet.
You said you can't, eh, Benj?
Probably not. I got some stuff up in the air
Yeah,
at work.
okay.
So.
Okay.
Come on, Dave.
I'll let you know soon, Cecile.
Okay. You may have to go with package B though.
I'll survive. I will survive.
Okay, I think that's
Okay.
pretty much covers.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know me, I'm cheap, I just look at stuff.
Okay, other business, draft site plan bylaw amendment.
These are changes that the planners looked that we would require for our site plan control bylaw.
Right.
If you notice there, it's mostly simplifying the process for residential homes. So you would only need the site plan for homes that, if you're gonna be basically getting 11 units or more in a proposed development. What complicates things here is we utilize the site plan to ensure means to determine certain setbacks. So it's just an ironic system. The province is telling us that they want certain setbacks from waterfront, whether it's for septic fields or whether it's for whatever environmental policy they want to follow, but at the same time, the province is curtailing our means in order to do that.
I know.
It doesn't
It's
make any
counterintuitive.
sense.
I know, you're right.
It's like the two ministries didn't talk to each other.
Build your house there, but your septic tank's gotta be.
Right?
Makes no sense.
I know,
I know, I know,
Okay. The changes are fine.
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, because the Ministry of Environment wants certain setbacks enforced, at the end of the day, it may mean we have to go there with a measuring tape.
Tape.
So we'll have to get a 300 meter measuring tape.
Ugh,
Our wheel will do it, but.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it looked good to me too.
Okay, so I'll bring back a bylaw with those changes. And like I said, we're still working on the many changes required with the official plan and zoning, and that will of course require notices and whatnot, other requirements
Right.
under the Planning Act.
Okay, with that, I believe that brings the meeting to an adjournment, so. Resolution 63-23, moved by Councillor Bryson, seconded by Councillor Bergeau, that the meeting now adjourn at 8:14 p.m.
Woohoo.
All those in favor?